Voice chat knows. What stock is that again? Welcome to Read the Room with Unc. Yo, what is up, everybody? This is Unc with this week's Read the Room. Coming off a short week last week. Definitely feels like we're in the middle of a bear market rally right now. So kind of want to be mindful of that. Um, the hot list and my Read the Room list this week kind of had some big changes. A lot of these plays made the full room, and because of those market conditions, not really looking for continuation beyond our levels on a lot of things. So letting that cool off period happen, letting them breathe a little bit, and new support form or find a level again is kind of what we're on here. So if we take a real quick look back at last week, Kodak, Cole, DMR, um, what's some other good ones in here? Lemonade, PLTR, Rad, all coming off because they made the complete move. I took the coffees off as well, but most of the other ones are staying. So we're about 50-50 new and old. So let's get right into that. But be mindful of the winners that you guys did win on. Keep those in your rotation for sure. Set a level, set an alert on those so you can get the head start. Not waiting for Sundays if it happens midweek. All right, here's the new list, the new list. First off, Clove again, 218, 256 are lights. Slower moving play. The flow read's still strong. You can find your percent, fire, rinse, and replete. And this is a buy red play. So as you can see on the chart here, 218. Definitely came off that level last week. Nice 10% bounce off that. 256, the higher line. Day chart looks real good on the uptrend with big candles. Weekly, which we'll probably talk about here at the end of the video if you stay around for some EDU action. Nice compression. Kind of against the grain in the market last week. You kind of would think this thing would have took off the bottom. So I do kind of want to be mindful of that. But Clove kind of does have a mind of its own. And I still do like the level here. So if you just look back here towards the beginning of the year. Next we have play 3302 46 22 lines on the chart. Find your percent. Same note here, but we are in the zone, so we must be in the zone on the chart. Let's pull up play. Yep. So 33, you can see it. Here's the line in the sand. That's why we play this level. Got a nice, $2-3 move, depending on where you got in. Off of that level, still have the upper 46. Flow reads are still good here. Like restaurants, food, and all that. We kind of talked a little bit about that in voice chat about food, groceries, restaurants, etc. Producers being the next rotation. These guys are already in a good spot. This is probably one of the very few plays that I'm looking for more than a 10% move on in the current market. Givo, sub 3 ads. We just played 350 to 5 channel. That's kind of the same note. Another compression week. 247 was the low for both weeks. This is why we're going to talk about this chart, or this part of charts later. But you can see these two candles are almost identical in the top and the bottom. The bottom is identical at 247. This level is holding. Kind of can see it here. Is there a lower level? Yes. But with I believe the offering was 4 something. Yeah, they did like a $4 offering about a month ago now. Maybe about 3 weeks ago now. So I'm just hanging out and let this get back in the zone. Right now, even back to the zone is a great trade for me. EXK. Better silver setup and respecting the 347 level, 423 top of the current channel. Lots of range if sector picks up. Same note, the weekly chart is primed. And again, I am putting a lot of onus this week on watching the weekly charts. I think this is your overall. This is the better to look at than even the dailies in the current market. But again, you can see the compression on our level. Hoping to get a pop. Any one of these 4 candles would work, in my opinion. Catalyst is silver, so it's real easy. This is just the best setup. Pretty simple here. Patience pays. HYMC 131 chart level from the chart, trading around that first level, heading out or hanging out till it gets picked up. This kind of may be a little more of a gamble, but if you look at this chart, you're not really gambling too much. We put this 131 line up pretty quick back here on the mid candle between the two candles of the first move, and it's just been super respectful of this level. Lowest we got, I think, was back to $1. Does it go down to 120? Sure, but it also goes up to 150. So that's kind of the tradable range on the week. Find a trade. Definitely want to be in this if it does get that social pickup again with the AMC partnership or whatever it was. I'm not sure. All right, Matt was on its way to 2 and the offering hit $1.35. Always know the prices of your offerings. They're hugely important. They're selling 50 million shares at that to people that have money. It's an important number. Doesn't mean it's going to hit, land, or build support. But usually, those guys don't lose money. Playable back to there, real close to our lower line, 142. So if we pull up the chart here, so this one was would have probably been pulled off the list just by the parameters I set. I had this lower channel here, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see we were just at the top of it last week, so we kind of caught the perfect move on the last 2 weeks. I would have let it breathe off the $2 level in general, but this offering hit, if you throw 135 on the chart, it's basically the same area as this one. That's not even mid candle. Mid candle is more of this 155. So I'm liking the setup again. I might have to wait a day or two in the week for the offering to close, but $1 looks pretty well respected down here. Oh, isn't that funny? This is $1.17 on the open as well. Yeah, be mindful of that 115 area, I guess. Repeat offender, AMRS forming higher. Our higher lows forming 223 is that should be our lower line. Support building at 2s, plenty of range left. That's why I started reading my notes to you guys, because I know I'm not the best writer, so I want to clear things up. So yeah, this 223 is our line. You can see it does go down to 2. Flow and TA still suggest to move to 4. That's why I like it. Chemicals, can't really go wrong with them. Building nice support on the day. You can see it here. It does kind of look like it'll fly through the 275 to 350 range. So yeah, find your percent, find a way to trade it, or just DCA into this one. Not a bad play in my opinion. BBIG, $2 level has been the low, 230 line from the chart. High 2s expected with the spin off this week. These guys have the share thing coming. They're giving the share out to their other company that they're spinning off. So you have to own this share. So it should push it a little bit. Again, our lines are the 229, and I believe I have, what is this? Let me see what this one is. I believe it's right at 3. Yeah, 305. So I like that, especially if you can get closer to the $2 level, because you get a full dollar move. Sounds like 50% to me. $3 definitely has been the place you want to kind of get out. It doesn't stay above that for too long, even though it does run to like maybe 350. With that catalyst, if it does pick up the social, sky's the limit again. I don't trust it past 5. But just another one that we've kind of been on the whole time. Not something you want to hold, something you want to trade. All right, next up we have Cinex. Way too beaten down, 7 proves strong support. Looking for the bleeding to stop. I like mid to low 7 area. Let's grab that chart real quick. So as you can see, we still have 12 up here on the 20-day bars. That was the level. Just had a horrible sell-off. You can see kind of selling hasn't really stopped quite some time on this aluminum play. But volume profile on the larger time frame is 7, and it had a perfect pop off that. So I like that, trying to be a little bit early on the recovery bounce back even to the 12 area. Me and P talked about that even being back to the original channel that we just fell out of the last 2 weeks, being a $5 move, which is well north of 50% currently from the location. His aluminum thesis I trust. This is now a better opportunity. Next, Express back in the mix. Secret meme. If you don't know, now you know. Another oversold chart finding support off a psych level 231, 350, our current channel. This is a well-known repeat offender for me. I liked this when the meme stocks moved, just because it moved a little bit cleaner for me off levels. As you can see, it definitely has some pretty consistent levels over a longer period of time. We did kind of hold the $2 level perfectly on these lower candles, but as the note says, the 231 to the which hit the 20-day just perfect, to the 350 is our normal channel. So excuse me, 315. So yeah, looking for this to confirm now that we got here. Pretty much spent all last week trying to flip this back to support. So be mindful of this level here, buying off this 120, 130 range, playable back to the threes. Fubo chart's looking good on most time frames. You can see an uptrend on the smaller, and then we're kind of flat on the regular, but on the week, excuse me. But these candles, again, we'll talk about this later on. This is a great example. These dojis, it's not really moving. This is building pretty good support on this time frame. So if we read the note, did we read the note? If not, we'll read it again. Fubo, when market's bad, this is the MVP. Which means when the market's bad, this thing definitely follows the trend, but it comes right back to the level. Just make sure you add sub 3 here. These charts on the day candles are 30 to 40 cents. So this just shows there's a lot of volatility in price. Yeah, these guys up here. You got a low of 270 and a high of 290 on that one. You got a low of 260, a high of 292. Low of 260, high of 283. You get the drift here. Low of 286, high of 308. So you kind of get that. Really good, strong finish to the week after some pullback on Tuesday. I like this to continue. Gonna need a catalyst to really push it, but when it does go, it'll be the 50 to 100% from here, no problem. Next up, Mullen flipping 140 to support currently, flipping that grave over. Must not be dead. 100% from the Malo. I like to see that. I always kind of am mindful of the last lows and the percentage it's ran from that area. The psychological levels 50 and 100% are very, very important in my opinion. And this is at about the 140 is from 70 cents is 100%. That's where we currently are. Plenty of PR, social buzz here. I'm here for the high ones to the low two tests. So let's go to the chart here, pull up some Mullen. Yeah, you can see right here, it's just kind of throttling across this range. Almost reset the play here last week, which I like. Kind of scooping up on the weekly. Great range on this daily. And that's more what I'm looking at, is that we are getting these peaks and valleys. Kind of my top watermark right here. You know the stock, you know the play, you know how long we've been on it. Oh, real quick, that 70 cents is right here. So we're making 100% from this last low. But you know the play, you know the range. We've been here before. All right, rig. I just wanted to get back in energy. I like being early, and I feel like they're going to come back. So the next two are definitely that. Rig 350 holding well. If that's the bottom, the top of the channel is 338. This is still holding trend from March. So, yeah, I understand what you guys asked me about my notes now. So here's the trend from March. Let's pull it out. Probably looks best on the day. So here's the trend from March. We're still holding that. I don't have this lower line of 350, but that's kind of what looks like holding. If you look right here, we got 350 here, we got 360 here, 350 here, 413 here. So I think this is probably a better spot than this 3, or a more realistic spot to actually get in. You know, the 350, 340, 330, depending on where you want to stake your claim. And then back to this 438. I think we're getting into that cycle again from this point. Not necessarily a high or low, but still on trend. And next up, we got TEL. Our line's 316. It's where we are. Looking to reclaim 350s. The next key area, 275, the last low. All right, sorry, I took a drink there. So TEL, Right here, 316. I mentioned this to P in the Sunday voice chat that this was on my list. It would have qualified to be on my list. It wasn't because we had a conversation during voice chat midweek, and he kind of wasn't on. He wasn't on these being done yet. That changed over the weekend. As always, that's one of the things we're very, very good at is bringing new information to the table and not sticking with old confirmation bias. So when he was interested in it, definitely perked my attention because we're on this 316 again. Again, the 275 is the last low, and then even back to here, this 378. This is kind of where I'm going for. It just had 3 really bad days. Kind of could see it on the weekly. See if we can check back to that range. Love the sector. Could be early, yes, but this thing, when it moves, it has decent range from here, as seen on the day chart. And last up here is TUP, confirm E7, looking for continuation, strong flow now. The strong flow is the only reason I didn't take this off the list. I'm pretty happy with the move. Well, not the only reason. I won't put it all on Professor like that. That's not fair. That and the gap on the chart are the 2 reasons why here we'll pull this out. Yeah, we got a pretty big gap back in here. So I think like 10, 11 maybe are good here. Professor doesn't see that far out yet. It's still $8 or $9 flow, but from 7, that's still a decent move. Again, this one I would have took off the list because we did hit the bottom and move about 50%. But with strong flow reads still walking it up, I'm going to keep this one on a little bit longer. Feels a lot to me like when I talk about Crocs. This feels like Rad and Tupperware kind of fit that criteria of stuff that's just not going to go away and are extremely oversold. All right, a little bit of EDU. I kind of want to get into the weekly charts because right now they're saving my bacon. You can't really hide off a weekly chart. Looking for compression and ranges, but just to dissect candles real quick. Color is nothing but meaning it started the week higher. Monday open, finished Friday close. So that was your open and your close. The wicks are the range outside of that. And that's really what I look for. You got if the red to green bother you, change your candles to a different color because all you're looking for is the range, the trend, and the support. Those 3 things. You want to find the trend of the stock, the range of the stock, and the support. And you can do that real quickly on the weekly. It kind of shows you where you're at. So we definitely were in a downtrend. It looks like we're finding support here at 2. Let me get the low. 240, 239. Last 2 weeks has kind of been the low. High water mark 276. That's a tradable range on those candles. So that's just kind of what I look for. And you can do that with any stock here. Let's just grab something random. Let's grab Rad real quick. That's not going to be fair because that's going to have a big green candle. Let's grab old MQ. Perfect. So zoom in on the weekly here. Same thing. We are in an uptrend. You can see this right here, higher low forming. This is technically an uptrend. Where would you find support here? Where do you see every candle touching? Well, let's fake a trend line. What's every candle touch? All but one there. So if you are a bargain shopper like me, you will drop it down a little bit, and so about $9. About $9 is where that trend's holding. We do have an overall trend of 10 that we are looking for on volume profile to break. But that would be the safe place I would look to add if I wasn't in this trade currently, or I wanted to get in this trade and was looking for pullback. I would set an alert and wait for that opportunity to present itself. You just do the homework, set an alert. That's going to keep you from staring at the chart. You write a note down. When that alert comes to you, you can make a decision. But trying to make it off of the day chart, the daily chart here, the hour chart, these are great for intradays. These are great for finding levels of support. But your overall right now, big picture, is this weekly. It will tell you where you are, where you've been, and where you're probably going to go. As we always say, you can't hide on a weekly. All right, everybody, that's it for this week. Definitely get into the summer season, so we're going to be less is more. Try to stay focused. Uh, Definitely stick with the basic EDU and the best charts we can find. Hope you all have a good week. Definitely be mindful. We've had quite a bit of a run in a bear market. Um, so I'd be ready for maybe a red day somewhere here in the next 5. But if you have a plan, you respect the lines, and you read the room, you should be all right. See you guys all in the RTL Discord. Everybody have a great weekend.